it's Nina Carmichael, and we made these videos it's because you're probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and get that push by surround yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and learn the main problem with the whole dream big advice. Enjoy! Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1, do scary things.
Everyone tells you to think bigger, to dream bigger, to 10x your goals, to if you had $1 million or $1 billion, what would you do? I think the bigger problem is not that you can't come up with a bigger vision for yourself, it's the belief that it's possible. That's why I think that lack of belief is the world's #1 problem. For me, for you, for all of your heroes and gurus, all of them. The lack of belief in the next thing, in your big vision, is the reason why you're not following through and being consistent on it. Especially for achievers, you guys, entrepreneurs, you're watching this video, you have big visions. You know, if we gave you the challenge of what is your big goal, what is your big vision, what is the life you want to create, we can get lost in the exercises, right? And that clarity is power, right? Sitting down and writing down your goals and where do you want to become and where are you going to be in 5 years, and all of those things can be great exercises to get you started, to get you thinking. And while we're writing it down, here's what happens. While you're writing it down, you actually feel that it's possible. You've let go of the limitations, you've let go of the restrictions, you've let go of your environment and your situation, said, this is what I want to create. And in that moment of boldness, you feel like everything is possible. And then what happens very quickly afterwards, maybe it's 10 minutes after, maybe it's an hour after, maybe it's the next day, maybe it even lasts a week, you start to look at that list of where you're going to be, and you think, wow, I can't do that, right? Does it sound familiar? Have you ever set some giant goal for yourself, feeling bold, motivated, and then the next day you wake up and say, I can't do that. I'm crazy. I was crazy. It's not even you telling your friends or your family or social media. It's you telling yourself that you suck and you can't do it, right? That's the inner game that we need to work on. So how do we start to fix it? 1, I think it starts with understanding that the ideas that you come up with when you're feeling bold, powerful, inspired, motivated are actually the right ones for you. When you're feeling bold and you come up with something, and maybe that's because you watched a video or had a great conversation or read a book or went to a conference or event, for whatever reason, you've stepped outside your current mindset, limitations, belief system. You've stepped outside. You're looking at you. You're looking at a more confident, more bold version of you. And you come up with an idea that you want to do. That, I believe, is actually the best thing for you. And then your head starts talking you down because someone like you can't do it. Be safe, be practical. There's no way you can accomplish it. You don't have the money, resources, education, support system, etc. Whatever valid, these aren't made up excuses. These are valid excuses, valid reasons. They make sense. Otherwise you wouldn't believe them. But that's your job, to still go off and do that scary thing. Step 1 is when you're feeling that boldness and you come up with an idea, understand that that's actually the best you talking. That's actually the thing you have to go off and do. You have to start building some momentum towards. And your brain will forever try to keep you small. This is the challenge, is that we're not consistent because we don't believe that we can do the things that we say that we want to do. So that's step 1. Step 2 is take some kind of immediate action. Most people's immediate action is research. Most people's immediate action is planning. That's not enough. Immediate action is doing. You have to do something. And you don't know where to start. This is the next thing. I don't know where to start. I want to start a YouTube channel. I don't know where to start. You start by pulling out your phone and making a video. I'm in my car, on my phone, making a video. You can too. It's not worrying about it being perfect. It's expecting to suck and just start. Just create. I call it the 2% difference. It's like, what's the first 2% on your idea? We plan to get to 100% instead of just going and doing something on the first 2%. Whatever that big idea is, start to teach yourself that your ideas are amazing, that the ideas that flow to you are good. They're good for you, they're good for your family, they're good for your community, they're good for the world, they're good. And you have a duty to start doing something towards them. Start to train yourself on this. Recently, I wanted to learn about NFTs and cryptocurrency, and I've dabbled and learned a little bit, but I just decided I'm gonna figure this out. And last week on Friday, I spent the day learning it. and I had all sorts of obstacles thrown in my way. I couldn't get money out of my bank account because my bank blocked cryptocurrency purchases. My Visa blocked cryptocurrency purchases. There's a whole bunch of restrictions as a Canadian to buy from the different exchanges. All sorts of problems, and you know what? Like one problem after another, my US bank account. Like, well, I've got a US account with TD, so I'm gonna go to my US account, no problem. The TD was closed. The online banking had a update. Their website crashed. Like, oh my gosh, it's like nonstop. But we figured it out. Built some momentum. Started taking some kind of action. It makes a huge difference. Because while you're feeling the bold energy, if you wait till tomorrow, you won't feel the energy anymore. You can have the perfect plan, but tomorrow you won't have the same mindset, and so you won't execute the plan. That's what happens. So step one is to trust your big ideas, trust those bold ideas, trust that someone like you can do it, stop judging them. The fact that it came to you means that it's great, that it's flowing through you, and you have a responsibility to take some kind of action on it. Step two is to do something about it immediately, today, while you're feeling it, while you're feeling bold, while you feel things are, the potential is there, and researching doesn't count. You got to actually do something about it. And then step three is to start to be around the people, the resources, the ideas, the videos that help you get that feeling more consistently. What made you feel bold? Where did that idea come from? What were you doing that led up to you feeling like you could be unstoppable? Maybe it's watching a video. Maybe the Espresso videos. Hey, I make one, every weekday for you to enjoy if you want. Maybe it's my other videos. Maybe it's somebody else's videos. Maybe it's not me. Maybe it's somebody else or some other books. But what are the things that help make you feel bold, courageous, confident, unstoppable? It needs to be this injection from outside your environment. Your current environment, the people you hang out with, everything you're doing right now is designed to keep you where you are. And where you are is pretty good. It's pretty good, right? I mean, you have a pretty good life. Compare what your life is compared to the world. It's pretty good. You're in the top 1% of the world if you're watching this video. So it's pretty good, but pretty good is not enough. You know you could do more. You want more. You want growth. You want to serve. You want to make more. Right? You want to impact more. You want more out of this life. And for that to happen, you have to inject yourself with things that are outside your environment, because your environment right now keeps you stuck. Keeps you stuck in this good spot instead of moving towards the great spot. So whatever the books, the resources, the conferences, the people, the friendships, the videos, whatever the things are that help make you feel that boldness, then you need to inject more of that into your life. And the good news is it's only becoming easier. There's only more channels popping up. There's only more books coming out. There's only more events that you can sign up for. It's never been easier to access the people and the information that you need to access. Lack of access is no longer a good enough reason, right? For my parents, it would have been a lot more difficult. It was a lot more difficult. And the internet didn't exist when they were my age. The internet didn't exist when your parents, your grandparents were your age. The opportunities were not the same as they are right now. You have full access to what you want. The people, the resources, the ideas, the motivation, the confidence, the strategies, it's all there for you. You have to decide to be around it every day. Because if you were around the people, resources, motivations that made you feel bold every day, if you could actually feel that courageousness and confidence, not just once a month, but every day, or as close to it as possible, holy cow, your life is going to change. So one, those bold ideas that come to you, they're meant for you. You have to do something about them. Otherwise, you live your whole life in regret, knowing that you're capable of more. Two, you got to do something immediately on them. While you're feeling that bold, courageous energy, action, 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 no matter how small, action to make some momentum happen. And then three, start to surround yourself with the people, resources, ideas that make you feel that motivation on a consistent basis. Do those three things. Your life changes, your impact changes, your financial situation changes, your self-confidence changes. It all changes because you decided to show up for you.
Rule number 2, take responsibility.
You are where you are because of you, because of the choices you've made. You are right now here stuck where you're stuck. It's not the government's fault. It's not the economy's fault. It's not the algorithm's fault. It's not your parents' fault. It's not even your fault. I'm not even here talking about placing blame. It's not about who we're going to blame. It's about taking the responsibility to fix it. To say, I don't want to stay stuck here where I am right now. Things have to change. This is not my final destination. I'm going places. You're going places. And taking the responsibility to make that change happen, where too many people just get stuck up on the blame. Like, well, I'm here because of the economy, or because of the president, or because my parents, or because my education, or because whatever circumstances. And we use that as a valid excuse, a reason for why we won't take action. Well, it's not your fault. And because it's not your fault, we have somebody to blame. And so that means we can just stay stuck. And unfortunately, that's where most people are stuck. They're stuck being stuck. They're stuck placing blame. They're stuck because it's easy, because it's easier to just shut up the world and go dive into Netflix and entertain yourself, as opposed to actually fixing the problem. When there are problems that show up in life, and that's going to happen for everybody, the most common responses people have are, one, to blame somebody else because it's not your fault, and two, to go dive into entertainment. As opposed to saying, I don't even care whose fault it is, but I'm going to take responsibility for where I'm at, and I'm going to invest in myself to flip from entertainment to education so that changes can start to happen. Because until you break that loop, until you break that cycle, you stay stuck. And it's comfortable. It's comfortable and it feels good to know that it's not our fault, but ultimately you're not happy. The short term, you're happy because you can just put the blame on somebody else, but long term, you're not happy. You're not happy because you never get the growth, you never get the progress, you never get your goals, you never accomplish your dreams, and you're stuck there knowing that you're capable of more. I went through this very recently on my YouTube channel. So one of the strategies that I've been helping some of my friends with, there's one guy in particular who has blown up on YouTube thanks to one key strategy that I gave him. And I told this to him maybe a year and a half ago, and he started applying it maybe 6 months ago, and you see channel popping off, growing faster than I'm growing off of my strategy. And I finally came to the realization, like, why am I not doing this for my own channels? I'm telling other people to do it. Most people never take action, but this guy actually took action on it, and he's crushing me now doing this stuff. Why are we not listening to our own advice? Like, why am I not doing the same thing on my channel yet? And it came down to, well, I'm worried about my team. I'm worried about how much extra work it is. I'm worried about, mostly about my team and like how we've done things in the past and changing things up. And I finally came to the realization that, this has to change, because if I can't make this work, then it's my fault. This is my fault. And my team's livelihood is my responsibility. And I need to be constantly growing and getting better. And if YouTube's algorithm changes, I need to be on top of it. And I need to be guiding my team in the right direction, because they rely on me for their career and for their impact. Now, could they go get another job? Of course. But hopefully they like working with me and the work that we're doing, and feel like they're valued and what they're creating is having an impact. And so me being afraid is not a good enough reason. And so it wasn't until I really owned that to say, this maybe took a couple months for really to sink in. Like, my own advice is being used for somebody to help them blow up, and we're not doing it because I'm afraid of the impact that it's going to have on my team. And that can't be a good enough reason. That can't be a good enough reason, because ultimately I'm doing a disservice to my team, I'm doing a disservice to myself, and I'm doing a disservice to you. Because the more people who can see these videos, the more belief we spread in the world, the more impact we have, the more people's lives change, the more great companies are built. This is my mission. And so if I don't do it, then it's my fault. It's not YouTube for changing. It's not anybody on my team for resisting. It's me. It's my fault. And so when I finally accepted that, then you can move fast. Then I messaged some of the key people on my team and said, okay, here's what we need to start to do. And I understand there are problems with this, so let's fix the problems because this has to happen. And now we're doing it, and now we're moving quickly, and you know, hopefully we'll start to see the results. But it wasn't until I accepted the responsibility for it to say I'm not going to stay stuck in this rut that we're in that things start to change. And so how can you start to apply this in your life? I'm going to give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is, what is the thing that has to change in your life? Where have you been stuck for the last little while? And we all go through these moments where we've got massive clarity, courage, and we take action, and you're just moving. And then you get stuck. You get stuck doing the same thing. So where are you stuck right now? Is it your business? Is it your relationships? Is it your career? Where is it? Your mindset, your health habits? Like, where do you feel is the number one place that you're stuck right now in your life? Where are you stuck? Get really clear on that, because having that honest conversation with yourself really matters. That's how you can start to make the change. And the point of this is not to say that you suck and look at the disaster you made for yourself and I can't believe you're not doing better. This is not a negative self-talk exercise. This is we're gonna have an honest evaluation of where we are right now. This is you sitting down with you. You can look in the mirror, you can journal, you can go for a walk, whatever you need to do to have that conversation with yourself. But figure out what is the number one area that you feel stuck right now that you don't want to be stuck in anymore. That if you're still stuck in the same spot that you are in right now, 1 year from today, you're going to be upset. You're going to be upset that you missed an opportunity, that you've wasted another year of your life. So where is that number one area that you feel stuck right now? Get some clarity on it. Maybe it comes right away. Maybe you got to digest it, but get some clarity on that, because that's the starting point to making some changes. Step number 2, who are the people who've done this thing? Who are the people who are great at this thing? Who are the people who you look up to, respect, admire? Maybe they're physical people, humans that you can touch and have coffee with and have a phone call and go meet and are in your life. Or maybe they're people you've never met yet. And you can learn from them on YouTube, on Instagram, on podcasts. But who are the people that are doing this thing? They're great at it. The thing that you're struggling with right now, they're world class at it. And you want to try to find some time to be around them more. You make it part of your daily ritual now to be around them more. If it's somebody who's in your circle, you're trying to have a regular call with them. That may be a daily call for a while. Maybe it's a weekly call. Maybe it's a monthly coffee, but you're trying to spend more time with them. And then you supplement with regular content. You start following the people on YouTube who make you feel more of that, who make you want to play a bigger game. You start following people on Instagram who lift you up, who make you feel the hope and possibility. With conscious intent, you're picking who you're surrounding yourself with and who you let into your life based off of goal number 1. So if goal number 1 is to have more belief in yourself, and the biggest problem you have is you don't have enough belief in yourself, great. You can definitely supplement with a lot of my content. I mean, at least that's the intent. With every video I make, I'm trying to inject more belief into people, into myself as well as other people. If your number 1 goal from step number 1 is you want to have better health, great. Who are the channels that you need to subscribe to make you feel, if you're watching people who are constantly living healthy, who are working out, who are doing the right diet, who are taking care of themselves, who value themselves, if you're constantly around that, they will lift you up. They will make you more healthy. Not just because of the strategies. The strategies alone aren't much. It's the environment, it's the mindset, it's the belief. By being around these people, they automatically pull you up. They automatically make you feel like it's possible. They automatically become a part of your daily, and they push you towards having the courage to do the thing that you want to do. So whether it's health, whether it's belief, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's sales, whether it's relationship, whatever your number 1 goal is, I don't care. I'm not judging you, but you figure that out with clarity in step number 1. And step number 2 is you surround yourself with those people as much as possible, both physical humans in your life that you can touch, as well as online resources every single day, and they will shift you forward. And then step number 3 is have the courage to take action. So getting clarity is, a lot of people get stuck on this step. You get clarity over what you want. You know that you don't want to be stuck here anymore. Great. You're supplementing it, and you're watching videos, and you're listening to podcasts, and you're going to events, and you're meeting people. Great. Nothing still changes. Nothing still changes. It works. Until you actually do something. You have to have the courage to act. So the point of motivation isn't just to feel great. It's to give you the 5 seconds of courage to then go do the thing that you need to do. to go do the push-ups that you need to do, to then make the video that you need to make, to write the book that you need to write, to make the call that you need to make. The things that you're afraid to do that old you would never have done or badly wants to, now you're actually doing it. Now you're actually taking the steps. You can watch all these videos about running, but you don't actually get healthier until you run. Right? You will not get healthier by watching people run. You could say, my number one goal is I need to get healthier. I'm going to do that through running. Step number 2 is you're going to surround yourself with people who run, you're watching videos of people who run. Great. But nothing actually changes in your health until 3, you actually start to run. It's why it's so important that with all of these videos, I always say, what's your plan of action? What are you going to do? Because if you just watch the video, there's that 35% chance of you actually following through. If you just get motivated, you're probably not going to take the action. But when you create the action plan, you're way more likely to take the action. So the point of being around these people, of getting the motivation for that thing, is not just to feel rah, hey, I can do it, but it's to give you that 5 seconds of courage to then actually go take the action that you need to take. When you can follow that process, when you can, 1, get super clear on what it is that you do not want to stay stuck in anymore in your life. 2, surround yourself with the people who are living it, doing it, have higher standards than you in that thing that you want to get better at. And then 3, use that as the courage, as the momentum to then go take some kind of action in your life. That's how you get unstuck. You've taken responsibility for where you're at. You're not placing blame on anybody else anymore. It's on you to fix your life. And in 1 year from today, you can be in a totally different spot if you follow those 3 simple steps. Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for you to shift that habit forward. So I've designed a special free program to help you get more self-belief for every day. For 254 days, I will send you an email to an unlisted video that, if you watch it, will shift your confidence forward. The links to join for free are in the description below. 1, to get a little bit more credibility. If you're just getting started, people may not know you. There's still a little bit of a cachet around having a book with a major publisher. Successful people take responsibility for where they are in life. Find whatever the smallest first step is, and then the smallest next step is, and continue to build those steps. And when you look back, you'll have realized that you made some pretty significant progress.
Rule number 3, switch your mindset.
If you're struggling with something that you hate right now, there are 2 ways through. There's a 2-step formula that, if you can follow, will help you out of any painful, negative, frustrating situation that you're going through right now, where most people are going to get stuck in complaining. You're going to sit there and complain about what's happened to you and how bad your life is, and you're going to be blaming other people. This is what most people do. They're stuck blaming everybody else, complaining about their situation. Even if it's not your fault, that's fine. But if you want to get out of the situation, there's a 2-step formula that I want you to apply, because you start doing this, it will change your entire life. Step number 1 is to change how you see the situation. Change your mindset, change your approach, tweak it in your brain. The one that I use the most is, it's the best. It's the best. This thing that negative that happened to me right now, it's the best. It's my chance to prove to myself and the world what I'm capable of. You did not ask for this painful situation that you're going through right now. You did not ask for this health issue, for this work issue, for this environmental issue. You didn't ask for this thing to happen to you. This is where we struggle, because you didn't cause this. It's probably not your fault, right? Maybe it is your fault, but it's probably not your fault, this thing that's happened. There's a lot that happened to make this thing happen for you right now. And so it's so easy to get stuck in the land of negativity. Why me? Woe is me. Why did this happen? As opposed to flipping to say, it's the best. This thing that's happening to me right now, it's the best. When I broke my neck, I was on my tour, I broke my neck. What I said was, it's the best. It's the best. Is it actually good to break my neck? Probably not, but it's my chance to show myself what I'm capable of. I remember being woken up, so I passed out. I had a concussion. I fell on the floor. I woke up, like I fainted. I woke up, and I remember the hospital had sent their ambulance, and also fire people showed up. And my circulation was getting shut off. I couldn't feel my arms. I couldn't feel my legs. They're worried that I'm having a heart attack. And I remember going through this in my head as I'm explaining what's going on. They asked me if I was okay. And I said, I feel okay. but then I can't feel my arm, I can't feel my right arm, I can't feel my legs, I can't feel, and most people would be kind of freaking out at this point. Like, oh my God, I can't feel my arm, I can't feel my legs. And I'm calmly explaining that, oh, I can't feel my left hand right now, I can't feel my right hand right now, and just walking them through what's going on. And in my head, this is why it's so important. Whether this is actually true or not, in my head, what I'm telling myself is, this is the best. I am the greatest patient of all time. As people are normally freaking out in this moment, I'm calm, I'm explaining what's going on, I'm amazing, right? And I would never say that stuff out loud, but that's what the voice is inside my head, that this is the best, this is me, I'm amazing, let's go, let's solve this problem. And what it does is, when you're in that negative situation, it switches you to a place of possibility. If you are stuck in complaining and why everything is so bad and why is this happening to me, all you're doing is perpetuating the negative situation. You're not actually solving anything. When you can flip it to say, this is the best. This is my chance to learn, to grow, to improve, to solve this, to show myself what I'm capable of. What it does is it puts you in a place of resourcefulness. It takes you from a place of helplessness into one of resourcefulness that then allows you to go off and solve the problem. That immediate thing that nobody asked for, that you would never wish upon your worst enemy, that's happened to you right now, it gives you the tools to actually come out of it. And so switching your mindset, telling yourself that it's the best, when you've got these moments of pain and struggle and suffering where you just want to blame the world and complain and tell everybody how negative it is, you flip it. It's the best. Practice those 3 words. Maybe you're facing that situation right now. Maybe you're dealing with something you hate right now, or something, if it's not right now, listen, I promise you something is coming. At some point, that negativity is coming for you. And so use that as inspiration. It's the best. So that's step 1. That's step 1 of how do you deal with the moment right now. It's acute. It's something that's overwhelming right now that you can't change, you can't get out of. You have to just deal with it. That's how you deal with it. I'm the best. It's the best. We're gonna solve this thing. Let's go. Step 2 is more the longer term. So that was a very micro strategy of what's happening right now. The long-term macro strategy is you can't be doing the stuff that you hate. You have to find a way out. It may not be today, it may not be right now, it may not be this week, but you have to find a way out. So if you're working for a boss that you hate, long term, you can't be doing that anymore. If you're in a business that you hate, and maybe you started the business and you hate it, long term, you can't be doing that anymore. You will never win doing work that you hate. People say, well, you have to do whatever it takes, but you won't. You won't do whatever it takes if you don't like the thing. And you're going up against people, you're competing against people who love the thing. They love it. And for you, it's just a strategy. And so the key is you have to leave the things that you don't love doing and lean in on the things that you do and find a way to use the thing that you love to then bring value to other people so you can have a real business, so you can go make an impact, so you can build the life that you deserve, that your family deserves, that the people around you deserve as well. So if you don't love it, and worse, if you hate it, you have to find a way out. And that may not be today. This is where people get caught up in the struggles. Like, well, I don't like it, but I have no other plan. Okay, well, we have to start working towards it so that a year from today, you're not in the same spot. But today, you have to go show up and kick butt on the thing that is causing all of these problems for you. So I look at my YouTube channels, for example. We've done over 10,000 videos, just crossed 3 million subscribers on the main channel. Woo! Thank you guys, appreciate you. I've been doing this for 12 years, April 2009. How do I keep going? How do I keep making videos? How do we crank out 10,000 videos plus? And how have I not burnt out? How have we not taken time off? Because I love it. Because this doesn't work for me. Because I look forward to this. Because I look at my filming day, which is Tuesday when I make these videos, and I'm excited to make more content to share with you guys, to hopefully, maybe this today is the video that finally sinks in for somebody. For somebody watching this video, whether it's true or not, the message I tell myself is somebody is gonna watch this video right here today, this one, and it's gonna be the light bulb moment for them. Not everybody, but for one person, that video, this one right now, is gonna be the light bulb moment for them that gives them the big unlock. And so I have to show up. I wanna show up. I'm excited to show up. I can't wait to show up. 12 years, keep making content, and as long as I love it, I'm gonna keep doing it. And so this is why, if you're trying to do YouTube just as a strategy, you're going up against people who love the thing. So you're always gonna lose. Meanwhile, there's something that you love doing, and that's where you need to be long-term. So if you're in this struggle right now, you've got some painful thing that's happened to you right now. Maybe it's a health issue, maybe it's a relationship issue, maybe it's a business issue, but there's something that's happened to you right now. The short term, in the micro, right now, what can you do today? You tell yourself, this is the best. I'm strong enough. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to crush this thing. This is gonna get solved because you are amazing. It's the best. And then the longer term play is, okay, I'm not gonna be here 1 year from today. I can't just keep doing this. My life has to look different 1 year from today, and I'm gonna find my way through it. And often that means switching your path, switching your relationship, switching the self-talk you have for yourself, switching your morning routine, switching the business that you're running, making changes. What are the real changes you have to make to your life and your routines and your habits so that you are not stuck here 1 year from today? You follow those two paths, the micro of it's the best and I'm going to solve this today, and then the macro of I can't keep doing this. I need to find a different way through so my life in 1 year is different. That's how you get out. That's how you stop complaining, stop blaming other people, stop getting stuck in a land of negativity that most of the world is stuck in, and you start actually building the life that you deserve.
Rule number 4, be patient with the result.
You're not in a big enough hurry because you don't view patience and impatience properly. You were trained and conditioned with a perspective that does not serve you. Today, we're gonna break that. We're gonna set you free so you can start hitting your goals a lot faster. Most people are patient with themselves, but impatient with the results. I'll say that again. You're patient with yourself, but you're impatient with the results. You want the results to happen right away. You're impatient. Like, when am I gonna get these results? But you're patient with yourself. You'll give yourself a break. You'll let yourself down. Like, I'll do that tomorrow. You're patient with yourself, but you're impatient with the results. I want you to flip it. This is the perspective shift that if you understand and make in your business, your entire life will change. You need to flip it. You want to be patient with the results and impatient with yourself. You want to be patient with the results and impatient with yourself. Know that the results that you're after will take time. You're chasing down big goals. You're an entrepreneur. You want to do amazing things. It's going to take some time for that to happen. But the impatience you need to put on a daily basis is on yourself. Did you do the most that you can do today and every single day to move a little bit closer to achieving your goals? So look at my business as an example. My next goal is to hit 10 million subscribers on my main YouTube channel. That's a big goal. It's going to take me a while to get there, right? It's not going to happen tomorrow. No matter how much work I put in, no matter what I do, it's not happening tomorrow. It's going to take some time. I get that. I'm patient with that. And I'm insanely impatient with myself. It's like, what can I do more today to get me closer to that goal? How can this video be the best video I've ever made? It may not come out, but it's my intention. You may not get that result every day, but it's my intention. If your intention was to every single day do the most you could do to move closer to your goal, man, you would get there so much faster. The problem is you're too patient with yourself. It's okay. I'll do it January 1st, right? New year. I'm gonna start fresh. January. I'll do it Monday. Start of the week. I can't do it now. It's a Thursday now. I can't do it now. I'll do it Monday. It's start of the week. I'm gonna start. That's the problem. If that's you, then the best thing you can do is right now. Right now. Instantaneously. The rest of today has to be amazing. And same thing for tomorrow. And same thing for tomorrow. Stop letting yourself off the hook. Stop saying it's okay, I'll get to that some other time. This is the problem why you're not accomplishing your goals faster. You're too patient with yourself. And then you're sitting there wondering, why am I not getting results? I've been doing this for 4 years and I haven't gotten results yet. You've been barely doing it. That's the problem. Doing something once a week, doing these starts and stops, you're never gonna hit your goal. It's gonna take you such a long time to get there. So don't be frustrated that it's taking time to get there. Be frustrated with yourself and the lack of effort that you're putting in to attack it. And change your identity. As soon as you start coming with that idea of I'll do that some other time, Instantly stomp that out. Crush it. I'm doing that right now. And so I want to hit 10 million subscribers. It's going to take me some time. You might say, wow, you're growing quickly. Awesome. I think I'm growing slowly, right? I want to go faster. I want today to be the best day ever. I need to make this video better. I need to make my thumbnails better. I need to make my team better. I need to make the editing better. It's a constant push every single day to do the most that you possibly can to get closer to accomplishing that goal. I want you to flip it. Be patient with the results. They will come. And impatient with yourself. If you every day woke up and attacked your goal and were insanely impatient with yourself and said, today has to matter, today has to count, today I'm gonna do something to move way closer to my goal than I ever thought possible, I'm gonna demand more of myself today. If you did that every day, holy cow, those goals are gonna pour in for you, and I'm cheering you on. So let's go super tactical for a minute. I want you to think about one thing that you've been putting off, one thing that you know you need to do, one thing that you know would move you a little bit closer to your goal, one thing you've been putting off. What's coming to mind right now? One thing that you have been putting off to say, I will get to that later. I will tackle that on Monday. And show yourself what you're made of. Make yourself proud today. The problem is we're not proud enough of our own effort. We're not proud of ourselves. It's not about proving it to anybody else. It's not about proving it to me or your parents or your family or anybody else. It's proving it to yourself. Being proud of yourself. And so my challenge for you today is, I want to go tactical. I want you to think about one thing that you have been delaying, that you've been putting off. I want you to tell me what that thing is in a comment below. And as soon as you press enter or send or whatever you press on YouTube to submit a comment, and then go do that thing. Or at least take a micro action on it to start building momentum and to start shifting your identity as you are somebody who is impatient with yourself. You're gonna demand results from yourself on a daily basis.
Rule number 5, the last one before our very special bonus clip, take immediate action.
Most people aren't happy in life because they're living somebody else's truth. You're not living your truth, you're living somebody else's version of it. Your parents, your family, your culture, your society, you're living somebody else's version of it. And so you're never happy because you never explored it. You never picked at it. You never found out what you could be. And you settled for something less than what you're capable of. You know you're capable of more. You may not know what the thing is that you should be doing, but you know it's not this thing right in front of you. I can't tell you how many people I've met on this tour who have that story to share. I had a woman whose father told her that women should not be doing any kind of entrepreneurial ventures, that women are meant to be teachers. And so she spent 15 years being a teacher before having the courage to jump off and start her own business. And now she has a multi-million-dollar construction business. I had a girl come up in Albuquerque, where I am right now, who studied for years to be an accountant. Why? Because her mom was an accountant. And so her mom made her go study to become an accountant. And she didn't know what she wanted to do. So she said, okay, great. Yeah, I'll be an accountant. She just graduated and realized, I don't want to be an accountant. This isn't for me. It's easy. It's the path that my parents took. Like, it's great for me to get into it. I can get easy money. You know, my mom said, I'll like it when the money starts coming in, but money's coming in and I don't like it. I want to do something else. I know I'm meant for something greater. And so she told her mom, I don't want to do this. I want to learn how to be a management consultant and I'm going to go back to school. That takes a lot of guts. That takes a lot of courage. Most people do not have that courage. Most people do not have the courage to stand up to their parents and say, I don't want this life. It doesn't mean you have to hate them. You have to attack them. You have to tell them they're wrong. This is for you. You don't want that life. Most people never have that courage. And the story that comes to mind for me is Accio Morita. And use this as motivation, as wisdom. If you are trying to battle your parents or your culture, your friends or your society, remember Accio Morita. He started Sony. Now he came from 11 or 12 generations of sake brewers, Japanese background. The Japanese culture is super family oriented, and the oldest always takes over the family business. The oldest has to follow in line with what the family was doing. And so he was expected to take over the sake business. And it's not just one generation. You're talking 11 or 12 generations in a Japanese society. And he said, I don't want to do this. I want to start my own business, a technology company, at a time when Japan was known for super low quality products. This is the man who put Japan on the map for high quality products. That products coming out of Japan meant something, was a stamp of quality because of Accio Morita. And he went on to build one of the most successful brands in the world, Sony. But it starts with having the courage to say, that's not my life, that's not my truth, that's your truth. And it's out of love. Your parents love you, your friends love you, your society, your community, they love you. It's not out of hate. It's very few parents who say, do this because you're going to suffer. It's out of love. They just have a different version of it. Their world is different. They don't understand the world that you're growing up in. And so you have to have the courage to go off and start your truth. The challenging part, though, is it's uncertain. You don't know what it looks like. You haven't started. And so here's what I call the 2% difference. This is the secret to moving forward. As soon as you get an idea, you get an idea for something, trust that idea. Trust that idea that it's actually the right thing for you. Because what we typically do, you get an idea and then your brain talks you down from doing it. Your brain says, well, you're not talented enough, you haven't gone to school, you don't have the money, you don't have the resources. It talks you down from doing that big crazy thing. I believe that idea came to you for a reason and you need to trust it and go take action on it. Even though it doesn't make sense. You're trying to solve a matter of the heart with your head. You can't logically think your way through how you're going to feel about something. You can't. You can't think your way through if you're going to like sushi or not. You can't think your way through if you're going to love somebody or not. You can't. Similarly, in finding your truth, finding your passion, finding your calling, you cannot think your way through it. You have to feel it. And so the starting point is going off and doing it. And as soon as you get that idea, while you're feeling bold, while you're feeling inspired, to go off and take some kind of action. I call it the 2% difference. Don't worry about trying to get to 100%. Don't worry about planning and strategizing and figuring it out and thinking. That's what most of us do. You get an idea, you think, you start thinking, right? You plan. How do I get to that 100%? No. You've lost because you're going to wake up tomorrow a different person, because you're going to go home today, plan, and wake up tomorrow a different person and then not take action because you're scared. Because your brain will start talking you down from that crazy big idea. Your brain will talk you down from going off and living your truth. That's what's going to happen. That's what always happens. And so while you're feeling the energy and the momentum, you got to take some action. Instead of planning how to get to 100% of the way, you take action immediately on getting 2% of the way. 2%. The 2% difference. Go from 0 to 2%. If you can't take immediate momentum to getting 2% of the way, you will never get to 100%. You have an idea to make a YouTube channel. Great, go make a video right now, today. ASAP, the 2% difference. Make your first video right now with your cell phone. What most people will do is start researching, right? What am I going to talk about? What am I going to wear? What's my hair going to look like? What camera do I need to get? What phone do I need to get, right? What's my lighting going to be? What microphone? Think, and then never do. Because you're a perfectionist. You're going to perfect your way out of ever living your truth. The beginning is messy. It's supposed to be messy. Go off and get your 2% difference towards finding and living your truth. Quick example, my story. I'm here in Albuquerque, New Mexico right now. I was walking down a beautiful summer day last year, and I decided that I was going to take Nina to every city in North America with 1 million plus people. Every city in North America, 1 million plus people. That was my decision. Great. What's my first step? Action. The 2% difference. So it's not, here's what most people do. It's not go home and research how many cities there are. It's not go home and make a plan for how we're going to do this. There's lots of reasons why it's not going to work. Nina still had a full-time job. I had no idea how many cities there were. I had no idea what the next step was going to be. Just do something. Immediate action. And so I thought right away, 5 seconds later, here's my goal. Great. 5 seconds later, this weekend, let's hit one city. Boston. Nina had never been to Boston, so I thought Boston was the closest city to Toronto. It wasn't. Pittsburgh actually was. And on my tour, the people in Pittsburgh told me, they let me know that Pittsburgh is closer. But it doesn't matter. This weekend, we're going to go to Boston. It was a Wednesday that I decided, and on Friday night, we were leaving for Boston. Boom, I hit 2%. There's 50 cities. We're going to hit one this weekend. We're going to get 2% of the way done. On the way back from Boston, we decided to do this tour that I'm on right now. And now we're going to hit 50% of the cities on my list. Momentum. That's the thing that's missing, momentum, because you're trying to be perfect. You're trying to fully understand your truth, but you can't think your way through your truth. You have to experience it and feel it. And the starting point is a 2% difference. So take whatever idea that you have and train yourself. I want to burn this into your nervous system. This is one of the most important things you can do of all time. As soon as you get an idea, action, idea, action, idea, action. The more you can shortcut that window, instead of taking a week to take action or a day to take action, immediate, 5 seconds, idea, boom, some kind of 2% action, and expect it not to be perfect, expect it not to be the best plan. My plan was wrong, right? Pittsburgh was closer. In my head, I thought it was Boston. We went down the wrong path, but the momentum is what matters. And now we're 50% of the way. And now I'm going to close that gap and get the rest of it. The 2% difference. Go find your truth.
Here's an interesting question for you. How much do you prioritize excitement versus fulfillment? I don't know if you thought about this before, but excitement versus fulfillment. Both lead to happiness. Excitement is the really short term, you hit some milestone, you eat that chocolate bar, you do something super exciting, and it feels great and you get that rush, but it goes away just as quickly. Just as quickly as the rush came in, the rush goes away. Maybe you feel even a little sick afterwards. Maybe you need to recover afterwards because that chocolate bar makes you a little sick, or you partied too hard for hitting your goal and now you need to recover a little bit. Often the recovery time after the excitement phase is significant, but it doesn't last. Excitement doesn't last. It's very short term. Fulfillment is long term and lasting. Fulfillment, if you're looking in a happiness context, fulfillment is serving others. Fulfillment is knowing that you had an impact. Fulfillment is that comment that somebody leaves on your video, or the email that somebody sends you, or the phone call that you get saying that you had an impact on their lives. Those things you remember forever. There's comments and emails and conversations I've had that were years old that still mean something to me today. I still feel the impact of it today. Whereas I don't remember that chocolate bar that I ate 4 years ago. And there's nothing wrong with having excitement and fulfillment in your life. Both lead to happiness. But which one do you prioritize? Which one are you spending more time on? Which one are you actively, with intention, pursuing? Because this is really a game of intention. If you don't, with intention, say, I want to have more fulfillment in my life, you will default to excitement. Because we want it now. Because I think that's baked into human nature. We want it now, we want it now, we want it now, we want it now, we want it now. We're worried it's going to go away. We have a scarcity mindset. We have to take it right now. But the more that you can train yourself to actually seek out fulfillment, I think the happier you will actually be. I think the more long-term life satisfaction you will have. You will feel like you're doing something important. You will feel like you matter. You feel like this is something that is worth doing, as opposed to the sugar rush wearing off just as quickly as it came in. How do you move to fulfillment instead of excitement? How do you make that shift happen? Because I don't think many people are just automatically wired for it, but you can adjust it. Number one, I think one of the most important things you can do is have the keystone habit every morning that reminds you who you are. A keystone habit is something that you're doing regularly, that when you do that one thing, all your other habits fall into place. So for example, for me, I am currently fasting until 6 o'clock during the week. So I don't eat until 6 o'clock. And some days that's really hard. And some days that's a lot easier. The thing that actually helps me the most is this. It's a cup of coffee. Whether it's Starbucks or Tim Hortons or homemade, I just broke my coffee pot at home. So we're doing it. We're going out right now until a new coffee pot comes in. And it's not so much that coffee helps, and it does. Coffee is an appetite suppressant, so that can help. But it's more the decision. It's a decision that in the morning, I'm gonna have a cup of coffee, and that's setting me up because I am gonna fast today. And whether this lasts for a week, a month, the rest of my life, I don't know. Don't worry about having it be the thing forever. But as long as you have a goal for yourself, having a keystone habit to help you remember who you are, I think is critical. So what's one thing that you're trying to do that you're afraid of? Maybe it's launch your YouTube channel. Maybe it's create content. Maybe it's make videos. Maybe it's make calls. Maybe it's whatever it is inside your business that you know you need to do, but you're afraid to do, you don't want to do. You want to do it because you want to grow, so you get the fulfillment, but you don't want to do it because you're afraid of rejection, you're afraid of it not working out, you're afraid of it being imperfect. So it creates anti-excitement. Right? This is still just excitement versus fulfillment. You want fulfillment and you have to do it. You want excitement, don't do it. Which one are you going to choose to do? Well, our default is to live in excitement. So you're going to say, oh, I'm not going to do it. I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. But then you never have fulfillment and you don't feel happy because you never do the work, right? Does it sound familiar? Can you think of a task like that in your life or business that you should be working on? So the key thing becomes, what's the cornerstone habit for you that's going to help? It's why I make these videos. Because I know for a lot of you, this morning series really matters. People make the morning series a part of their daily routine. People make watch my videos a part of their daily routine. That my videos are the things that help keep them on track. Not just because of the knowledge, not just because of the motivation, not just because of the wisdom that is hopefully in the videos, but every time you choose to go to YouTube and watch a video instead of the alternative, which might be to sleep in, which might be to go to YouTube and watch something stupid, which might be to just do a whole other list of things that don't serve you. Every time you choose to watch one of these videos, you're betting on yourself. You're creating the cornerstone habit, the keystone habit, to help remind yourself of who you are and the life that you want. Very often, excitement and fulfillment are doing completely opposite things. When they're aligned, it's really easy. When it's exciting and fulfilling, it's super easy. But when they're apart, what do you do? Where do you live? What's your home? And if you want to shift from excitement to fulfillment, to have a more rich level of life, starting with that keystone habit is really, 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 really important. So think about the habits that you currently have. Think about the habits that you're kind of consistent on. Which one is the one that makes you feel the best about yourself? Which one is the one that when you seem to do that one habit, everything else kind of falls into place? It may seem insignificant. This is why people say, make the bed in the morning or drink a glass of water in the morning. It's not that making a bed actually does anything or drinking a glass of water has a profound impact. I mean, you are dehydrated when you wake up in the morning. But the reason that those habits are so important is because when you do it, it's not that you made the bed and making the bed then changes your day somehow. It's that you become the person who makes the bed. And even more importantly, is you become the person who set a goal and then followed through on the goal first thing in the morning. So then you're more likely to follow through on your other goals because you have the identity for today of you're the person who followed through on your goals. Where if you didn't make the bed, you set the goal to make the bed and you don't, you ever notice that day kind of falls apart? That you lose track, that you slide here, you slide there, you cheat on your diet, you don't do the activities you said you were going to do, you don't do the workout like you said, you don't make the calls like you said, you decided tomorrow I'll make the videos instead of today, and all of a sudden you've lost the whole day. Has that happened to you? You decided to just throw away the whole day. It wasn't a conscious choice. You didn't wake up and say, I'm going to throw away my day today, right? Nobody does that. It's that you woke up with great intentions, but because you missed that one thing, the standards start to fall, and all of a sudden, you're halfway through or at the end of your day and you realized you've done nothing, and you've slid everywhere. It's identity. You've taught yourself that you set goals and you don't follow through. This is a daily battle. This is a daily battle to fight for who you are, to fight for who you want to be. Are you the kind of person who chases excitement, or are you the kind of person who chases fulfillment? And there's nothing wrong with going after both, but where do you want your home to be? Do you want to be the person who's only chasing the exciting things, and then the energy wears off and you realize you don't like your life, that has no meaning, no purpose, that you don't matter? Or do you want to be chasing fulfillment, knowing that you're living a rich life that's having a massive impact on other people, which means sometimes doing things that don't bring you excitement? Change your keystone habits. Start living a more intentional life. Do an audit of where you're at right now. What percentage out of 100 you live in excitement versus fulfillment? And when you can intentionally start to make that shift, you'll start to live a much more intentional life, a much happier life, and a much more fulfilled life.
Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video because you are awesome.
If you want to know how to learn everything, check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
Whoever is more confident wins. When you're hanging around somebody, whoever has more confidence is going to be the person who influences and persuades the other person. And this is for all areas of your life. If you're hanging around people